Today I was playing Roblox and I thought to myself a question we've all asked. Why isn't Roblox fun anymore? Now, don't get me wrong. There is a few fun games on Roblox, such as the infamous Ants, but all jokes aside, these just aren't on the same level as other historic greats we've seen on the platform. As of the time I'm recording this video, we have massive games, such as Grow a Garden, but just because these games are huge doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. In this video, I'll be talking about a few of the historic greats and how they're different than the games of today. First up on the list, we've got Town of Robloxia. This was a pioneer of early Roblox, developed in 2010, now nearly 15 years old. Now, unfortunately, the original of this game isn't around anymore, but this truly was a pioneer of the genre and would ultimately lead to the rise of other games like Adopt Me. If you never played Town of Robloxia, I'll give you a quick little rundown on what happened in the game. You would be able to pick a job, and from there you'd be able to get cars, buy houses, or even interact with other players and have a family. Now, at surface level, this does seem very Roblox roleplay-y, but this was in 2010. There were not a lot of games on the platform, and this was truly revolutionary to have this much capabilities in one singular game. Next up, we'll be switching genres to Sword Fight on the Heights, which was a PvP sword battle game. Sword Fight on the Heights was a very simple game. In fact, everything you did in the game was in the title. You sword fought in places which were high up and where there was danger of falling. It was this simplicity that attracted players. It didn't need high detail or complex mechanics or anything like that to attract players. It just had very light parkour and very easy to understand sword fighting. So you can understand a little of the context of this game, I'll tell you what it was like. There were swords with different powers scattered across the map, or your starter sword with no powers, which you spawned with, and everybody had equal access to these weaponry and able to battle each other. And when you got into these battles, it was not very complex. The sword was just click to attack. That's all it needed. You can compare that with games today which have you feeling like you're playing an MMORPG every time you want to go in combat with somebody. Next we'll be looking at a game called A Pirate's Life, which came out in 2009 and was also a revolutionary idea. Now, I must admit, I will be a little biased on this one since this is the first Roblox game I ever played, so it's very dear to me and it holds a very special place in my heart. But beyond that, it was very popular and it's very simplistic, which I think completely underlines this whole concept. The concept was a very simple one. There were two teams of pirates who would compete over a central island, which you had to sail to using in-game currency, and you would fight each other using the same basic swords. Even if PvP isn't your thing, they also added a concept in which you can fish for money or other items. Now, in premise, this is a very simple idea, but as of the time of this recording, there's over 8 million visits on this, on a game from 2009. That's mind-boggling. Now, as I begin to wrap things up on this video here, I need to explain why these older Roblox games are different from the newer ones and why Roblox just isn't fun anymore. So, I took a screenshot of my homepage to show you what type of games we're dealing with today and what's popular. So here's what we're dealing with. Now I'm telling everybody, these jokes just write themselves. So, I took a few notes on the games we've got here, and here's what we've got. 4 brain rot mentions, 4 games about stealing, 3 games where you're AFK, where most of the content is whenever you're not at your keyboard, 2 Squid games, 3 Five Nights at Freddy's games, 1 game about cutting grass, and ants. Now, of course, I do realize that this is a kids game, so I'm no longer part of the target audience, but a lot of what we're seeing here is just unoriginal slop. And I was talking about this with a friend, and they had the opinion that maybe it was just because it was easier to innovate back then, but that's not necessarily true. For an example, this is Northwind. Northwind is a survival roleplay game which takes place during the colonization of Canada, specifically Quebec. This is a good modern game with a lot of potential, so you'd expect it to have a lot of players, but as of the time of this recording, there's only 300 active players on this game, despite it being a new, well-oriented game. Well, now I ask the question, why is it that these well-made games are not doing as well as these slop on the main page are? And here's my answer. It boils down to 2 things, player base an individuality of the player. If you watch any other video on this concept, they'll easily just dismiss the whole problem as an issue with the player base. And whether we like it or not, Roblox, since it being primarily as a kid game, is going to be angled towards kids. And what gets their attention? Those slop games with brain rot. That's just how it is. But I'm going to go above and beyond those other YouTubers and discuss another subject, which is the individuality of the player. So I'll ask you, what do the games that I mentioned have different than the games of the modern day? It's easy. It relies on you. Gone are the days where we have real freedom in a game, or we have to complete a certain task. Now, it's primarily about stealing from each other, being AFK, or just expanding on a topic which has already been used a dozen times because it's easy to get clicks. Even if we do have a real combat game or something that's innovative in the genre, they break it by completely opening it up to pay-to-win services. And whenever you give any player a competitive advantage over anyone else, it just rather becomes unfun. You just spend money to be good, and that's just not what originally Roblox was. So it's often asked, what do we do now? The answer? Not much. I wish I could offer a better ending to the video, but in reality, the future of Roblox is not looking good. It's rather bleak. So for the time being, I'd just spend your time playing the classics that you all love and enjoy, and just enjoying them as you used to, and hopefully making new games that are actually innovative and good quality. I will say, if you look into it, there's a few retro games which are really trying to capitalize on the old classic feel of Roblox, and those are some good experiences if you'd like to check those out. But I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I know it's different than all of the content that I do. I have a real problem switching up every episode right now, but please let me know if you'd like more of this type of content, and please subscribe. It really helps and benefits me. So if you'd like more content, please let me know, and I hope everybody has a great day.